Hello, my name is Bill Bars, and the instrument you see right here behind me is the new HIAC 8011 Plus. The purpose for the following video is to instruct the user on how to set up a sample, batch, and or lot ID naming convention, and that will be assigned to your particular sample recipe. We hope that this video is informative and helpful. Thank you. From the main screen, or what we'll call the home screen, we're going to push Setup, Test Recipe, and then we're going to select the appropriate number of the test recipe you wish to modify and or create. So we're going to select number 8 since we've already done a sample ID demo establishing the parameters for this particular test. So we set up the sample ID recipe name, tare volume of 5, sample volume of 10 mils per. We're going to run it 3 times. We've got no dilution, so the dilution factor equals 1. We're going to discard the first sample run, and we're going to report out the results in a SAE AS4059 reporting method. So after this is complete, then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the next page. This is the page in which we set up the actual sample ID, batch ID, and or lot ID information that you can assign to each sample specifically. So at this point we would select item 1. Here's where we're going to put in the name. We're going to select number 1, and this is where we're going to put in the words sample ID. You can put in batch ID and or lot ID if that's what you desire. For the purpose of this demonstration, we put in sample ID. After that is entered in, we're going to save that information. The second item is the default information, which is going to be assigned to each sample, which may be appropriate for an individual operator, or if it's a sample, say a location like an applications lab, or the date that you want assigned to each and every sample you take for that particular day. So we selected my particular initials BFB for option number 2. You can see that's where we put that information. We're going to save that. We're going to push save again. Okay, so now we have sample ID and the default information of BFB initials, which will be assigned to every one of the samples that we take under this particular recipe. Also for item number 2, we're going to set a batch ID, which may be also important for each and every customer. So the same idea, where option 1 is you're going to select batch ID, and so when we actually go to take the sample, you're going to enter in the specific batch ID that you wish to assign to that particular sample. So again, I entered that information in there. We're going to save that. We're going to save that, and now we're going to push save one more time to save those 2 fields. So now we have all that information stored under the recipe called sample ID demo. So at this point we can push setup. We're going to go back to the home screen, and now we're going to demonstrate and illustrate how those things pop up after you or during a particular sample. So we pushed sample. We're going to push. We've already selected the right recipe. We're going to hit start recipe. Here's where it comes up and prompts us to enter in the information. So we're going to push 1 for field 1. Again, the default information is BFB, my initials. That means I'm running the sample. And here we can enter in specific sample ID information, as in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's got the operator information and also the sample ID. We're going to save that. If there's batch ID information, then we can enter that in there. So at this particular time, we're going to enter in simply A, B, and C as the batch ID information. We're going to save that, and now we hit next, because we're going to begin a sample. It tells you to insert your particular sample liquid now, and push next. Now it's going to take this sample. So it's going to take 3 quick 10 mil runs. It will discard run number 1 and average out the results of run 2 and 3. At the end of the sample, I'm going to print out the result, and I'm going to show you where the sample ID and the batch ID information shows up on the printed record. It illustrates how we set it up, and then again how it is transferred over to the printout, and also it'll be assigned to the record if you export it electronically. So now the sample is complete. We simply push print record. I've got a printer connected to the system. If you'll notice, clearly it says sample ID is BFB123456 and the batch ID is ABC. This concludes this demonstration of setting up sample ID, batch ID, and or lot ID information for the 8011 Plus. And thank you.